Hello, everyone. Welcome to this episode of Beyond the Barclay with me, Jez Davies. I'm, of course, joined with the sexiest man in Durham, Mr. Morgan Hewitt. Let's go with that again.
Why did you laugh at that? Why did you laugh?
Well, because it feels a bit of deja vu going on. But how are you, sir?
I'm good. I've got of those with a keen eye who all 5 of our followers who regularly watch this show. What you do? I've got a plant now in the background.
Oh, nice. Yeah. How's that going for you?
It's withered. It needs a bit of light. Got my lucky ladder in the back. I touch it when I need a bit of luck.
Okay. All right. Well, I guess without further ado, Morgan, we should probably introduce our guest today, Mr. James Kearney. Did I get that right, James?
Yeah, that's the one.
Excellent. I wasn't sure. Something told me it wasn't Kearney, but
inner being.
If you'd just like to perhaps introduce yourself then, James, and just talk a little bit about why you're here today.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah, so the name is James Kearney. So yeah, amazing that you get it right first time. I'm the co-founder of Empowerball Football Leagues, which has launched in Norwich. So I'm a proud Canary. I wanted to bring what we started in Colchester to Norwich. So we now have a women's 60-sides football league in Norwich, based at Goals. So I'm sort of here today, because I love Norwich City Football Club. I follow you guys on socials, but B, at the same time, letting more people know that we are in Norwich now.
Fantastic. And just we will talk a little bit more in depth about the project later, but perhaps just talk to us a little bit about how it started, and then equally where people can find you. I know you've already said it was the Goals, but just talk to us about what Goals is and where it is in Norwich.
Yeah. So how it started is we launched a year ago, wanting to bring a football league together for both men and women. Actually, it started at men and women in separate leagues that focus more on mental health as a whole, and trying to create an atmosphere that has a contributing factor to a positive mental health, such as activity and the social element. We put out a couple of adverts for both of them, and the women's just went sky high. So we're like, okay, we'll get the women's off the ground first. And within what we do at Empowerball, we have a bonus rule where you get an extra 3 goals to be in the team with the best levels of sportsmanship, so respecting the referee, no rough play, encouraging your teammates and encouraging even the opposition. That team gets a bonus of 3 goals. So if it's 10-10 on the pitch, it turns out to be 13-10 by the end of it. So you're playing for more than just the on-pitch score. Little nuance that we have as well, 2 player of the matches as voted for by the players. So that was very successul. And then it ended up being a case of where do we go to next? So we launched in Ipswich. And I was like, well, I want to do Norwich next. So we then launched up at Norwich, Goals in Norwich. I should know the address, but
it's on Hull Road.
Hull Road. So we're Goals in Norwich. We play on Wednesday evenings. It's run by a lady called Poppy. She's the ambassador there, and we get together at 8:00. The format, once the league fully, we're still doing friendlies at the moment to understand players' inabilities to create some teams. But at the moment we play 8:00 and 8:30 kickoff is what it'll be, and then in the future when we have enough, it'll go right the way up till 10:00.
Amazing. That's really good. I think it's a really important message, isn't it, that you carry, because I think football in general it boosts people's mental health, doesn't it? By just the nature of their physical activity, but I think when it's done in such a way where people can kind of be rewarded for that, whether it be in a league structure or whether they get awarded medals or trophies or whatever, I think it's a really important part. So no, well done to you, and just perhaps just tell us a little bit about the amount of players you've got currently within your league. So how many active players you got currently?
Yeah, sure. So in terms of the leagues, so Colchester, we have 2 leagues in Colchester, with it being where we launched, and it's where I guess it's our pile-up place, it's our head office. So we've got roughly sort of 30 to 35 on a Wednesday, and then sort of 35 to 40 on a Tuesday. And then in terms of Southend, we've got just short of 30 that are registered, signed up. Ipswich around about the 30 mark, and then Norwich we are around the sort of 20. So we're desperately keen to get some more signed up in Norwich so we can launch. Once we've got 24, we can then split into 14s.
Nice.
And then that's when the magic really happens. Like at the moment, the friendlies is good. They're getting to know each other. They're already having a Christmas party, Christmas get together. They're already doing things like Secret Santas and stuff like that in their groups. And then obviously when it comes down to match day, they're on opposing sides, but it's about the bigger group. So that's across the leagues at the moment, and we will be launching in other places in the new year. But my main focus is making Norwich work because I want to take the Norwich team to Ipswich and beat them.
Yeah. Sounds like quite a good. Yeah, it does. It sounds like quite a good place to probably jump into some of the questions about you being a Norwich fan. Then, so I'll make a start on that, Morgan, if I may. So, what is it really like being a Norwich fan, living in Colchester, obviously being so close to Ipswich? And do you feel like you're behind enemy lines on a daily basis?
Absolutely. So, living in Colchester, I am Colchester and Ipswich fans. It's like rats. You're only ever a few meters away from them. I play football. I play football and I play football with Ipswich fans, and that's been great playing with them over the last sort of few years. Not the last few years. It's been a bit of a role reversal, so they've become a lot noisier recently. But yeah, they are everywhere, and I kind of like when I wear my Norwich top down to football, I'm surrounded by everyone in Ipswich tops, and obviously bright yellow and green. I stand out. Tend to wear a lot of when I play football, a lot of the away strips sometimes, just in case it kicks off. I'm definitely outnumbered.
You're a brave man. You're a brave man, I would say. I don't know how you do it, if I'm honest. I remember coming back on the train a few seasons ago from London, and I was, I tend to wear all black, as you can tell. But I think I had a little badge, Norwich badge, and the train stopped at Ipswich for a while because it was like, I don't know, it must have been after they beat Sunderland. Do you remember that game? They beat them 2-1, and it was like the last kick of the game or something like that at Portman Road, and the train stopped at Ipswich Town Station. And I'd never seen so many Ipswich fans like on a train before. And I sat there and I was like, just like this with my little badge, listening to them obviously cackle on. And this little lad, he's up to football with his dad. I can't believe I'm saying this on this podcast. He dropped his hat and it fell on the floor, Ipswich Town hat. And I saw it and I didn't say anything. I didn't say anything. I was just like, fuck it. So I didn't say anything. And then just as they were getting off, I think the dad noticed, but I didn't say anything about anyone else. I'd have been like, yeah, you've just dropped your hat down there, but I didn't. I thought
you were going to say you kicked it under the chair or put it in the litter bin or something.
I was expecting something like, or you went to pick it up and then your badge fell out and landed near it or something, and then obviously the gig was up.
I think it's been a bit weird back in Norfolk because I mean, Jez obviously lives in Hertfordshire. I live in Norfolk, but it is the last few years has certainly seen like quite a lot of Ipswich fans coming out of the woodwork in Norfolk, which is weird. It is weird to see when you're sort of going to the gym in Dereham and you've got like people wearing Ipswich Town shirts. I'm a bit like, fine, I guess. But yeah, you're well behind enemy lines, James.
Yeah, what makes it even worse is Colchester United fans seem to hate Norwich as well. They kind of like United fans. Their second team is Ipswich because obviously they're a lot lower down, and at one point looked like they were going to be in non-league. So it's almost even the Colchester fans I get gypped from, and I'm just like, hold up, mate, come on, like pick a team, stick to it, you know.
I think a lot of that centres around the fact that we stole Paul Lambert from him as well.
100%. Because I worked with a Colchester fan back at Camden Council about 11, 12 years ago, And he said, "Where are you from? And you just support?" I was like, "Oh, Norwich." He's like, "You're, you took Lambert from us, and then gave it all that, but whatever."
Yeah, we took a pasting first, like we've
Yeah.
got that over us. They remind me of that quite a lot as well.
Yeah. I mean, I've said before we came on, James, I was talking about my illustrious career in five-a-side football, and I used to work at where you run your league in Colchester, just by St Helena School, sorry. And I mean, I always made a point. My uniform was full black as well, Morgan, when I was working there. But I did wear my Norwich scarf on occasions and hang it up by reception as soon as an Ipswich fan walked in. So yeah, I think it's funny, isn't it? Because it's such a Colchester's such a. I'm going to have to be careful what I say here because my mum lives in Colchester. It's so close to Ipswich, isn't it? And I think there is, as you say,
20-minute drive.
It is their second team. Yeah, and I think over the years, the Colchester have had a few, shall we say, I don't want to use the word Ipswich rejects, but players coming to the end of their career where they want to stay in the area, so it's only natural that they go and play for a club that's 10 minutes down the road, I suppose.
Didn't Colchester take on what's his name? That Captain Fist Pump.
Yeah, what's his name? That's the one I was thinking of, but I can't think of his name. Did he score?
Centre back, James. He scored against us at that 2017-18 season, and then Tim Closer scored the equaliser. What was his name?
I can't remember.
I remember them. They got like 5 of their old boys that came in at the same time, didn't they?
Yeah.
I can't
remember his name, but I think Cole Skews went there, didn't he? I remember that because I always thought
he went. Alan Judge went.
Was it James? Someone?
Pardon?
James, someone. James. Oh, I don't know. I'll look it up whilst Morgan answers the second question or asks the second question.
Yeah, do that. Okay. So when you come up from Carrow Road, can you just describe your what you get up to? What's your general route? Any superstitions or rubbing a lucky ladder, for example, anything like that?
There'll be no rubbing prior to going up there, but I'm lucky that obviously Colchester's got a direct train that takes me to the station at Norwich, and then it's a short walk around. So it's always, for me, it is me and my brother that tend to go up there. He's not a Canary, but he doesn't mind coming to the games. So we'll go to the pub near the station, Colchester, and then jump on the train, head up there, and then make our way down to the Wetherspoons, and then obviously make our way along to the stadium. When I saw the intro video, like when I see the stadium, I get butterflies when I see the stadium. Like it just hits me. I still got it just looking at it. So for me, I just take it all in. I don't get to go to as many games because of the fact that I'm here and I'm surrounded by the blue lot. So a lot of my friends, or football associates, we'll call them. No superstitions or anything like that. I just take it all in. But yeah, it is train ride up and then make my way down. And then again, when I'm out in it, it's just Carrow Road, just a thing of beauty.
Yeah, I think I get the fast. It's not fast. I get this bus called the Fast. I get this bus called the Fast 8 from Dereham. There's nothing fast about that bus. Nothing at all. Nothing at all. And yeah, that's and then it's usually packed. And I just put my headphones in because I don't want to listen to other people's crap conversations. But yeah, and then usually meet up with you, don't I, Jez?
On occasions, yeah.
Wigan Pen. What's the other one?
Coaching Horses.
Yeah,
I think it's interesting. Sorry to interrupt, Morgan. It's interesting. James mentions that feeling you get when you walk into Carrow Road, and I still get it to this day. I mean, I caught myself. I usually sit in the Upper Barclay, hence Beyond the Barclay, being the podcast name. But I actually sat in the city stand with our good friend and fellow team member Killian O'Grady last game, second but last game actually. It was the Oxford game. I just caught myself looking around the ground like this and just thinking, what a football stadium. What a football stadium. And it's, I think it probably isn't, to a neutral, it's probably a football stadium, but because it's home, because you get that sort of feeling of nostalgia, don't you, when you walk into the ground, thinking of all those games of past, like the Man City 3-2, the playoff final against Ipswich, the Colchester game, which we all sat and was thinking, what the hell is going on here? I think, it's only natural. I think that you do get that feeling of kind of home, don't you, when you do walk into that football stadium?
It's the smell of the grass.
It's awesome.
It's the smell of the grass. And I've always said this with every time you go to because I've been spending a lot of time at Dereham Town Football Club recently. Another little drop for them. But you go through the turnstiles and you can smell the grass, straight away. And I love that smell. It's sort of like, it's almost like, you're there and you're not going to leave. You're not going to leave that little area for 2 hours or over 2 hours. It's even down to an extent like going to the Lion and Castle after the game, the pub that's in the stadium. I kind of like doing that because it means you get to stay there a little bit longer rather than just leave. I don't know. I don't like, after the football, I don't like leaving the grounds. It's like, I want to stay. I want to stay for the rest of the evening. But yeah, I know what you mean. It's great. It's great. And I think that one thing I would say, and I bet there's probably no Brentford fans listening to this, but when you have an old ground like Griffin Park, and then you up sticks and you move to something that's like a real corporate arena, you just, I don't know. To me, I don't understand how you can. He's got his finger out. There's
a man that can answer that question. Layer Road, James. Layer Road, and then the new stadium.
I never got to go. So I'm an expat into Colchester. I'm originally from Blackburn.
And
I did think I came down. Yeah, it's a bit all over the place. But my brother that I'm going with tomorrow, he's my older brother. When Norwich came to Layer Road, I begged him to take me, and he was like, "Oh, it's the opposite side of Colchester. I'm not doing it, and whatever." So I only ever saw the stadium in its sort of derelict state that it is, that it was a long time ago. But I have been to the new stadium quite well. I used to work in the stadium. I played on the pitch, and stuff like that. So, but there's only about 14 Colchester United fans, so it's hard to get any feedback from them as to how they feel about it. So
you're not wrong. But now I think
co-founder of. Oh, sorry.
No, carry on.
No, I think co-founder of Empowerball. He's a United season ticket holder. He normally sits right across from me here. So I feel closer to the club than I ever have because he's telling me all the stories about the games, and they're actually playing some good football these days. I see your point.
No, definitely, and I think there's a lot of clubs that have done it. I mean, I never went to, for instance, Underhill, Barnet, but I spent a bit of time at the Barnet's new ground, and it's just I think you've got to get it right, haven't you? And I think there's a lot of clubs that that I don't think have, but equally I think there's a lot of clubs that have got it right. I think Brentford being a good example, Morgan, of a club that's actually managed to find a new home and actually made it work. But I think there's clubs like Leicester, Southampton, and I make no apology for this, and I don't think the fans really consider that these grounds are home. They're sort of sometimes a little bit soulless, a little bit carbon copy of the next one, almost like the Leicester and the Southampton.
You'll find that though. You'll find that because your second team's Luton, so you'll find that.
I think Luton. I've got to be completely honest with you. And I'm not just saying it because it's Luton. I think genuinely that's an example of a club that are going to stay in the town centre. The stadium's going to have a little bit of character about it because of the way it's being built, and the fact that they've been at Kenilworth Road forever, so they're actually looking forward to actually moving to a modern stadium. So I think that's an example of a move that not needs to happen. I don't mean in that sense, but actually there's a lot of benefits and positives towards them moving to that new ground.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you got to look at the feedback from the Hill Dickinson Stadium for Everton. There's been a lot of backlash over that. Obviously, closer to Colchester, the whole West Ham move into. I know quite a lot of West Ham season ticket holders who, they still go because they're loyal to the cause. But the reality is they don't like that new stadium. It's too far away from the pitch. It's it's again, like it says, it's built for corporate. It's not built for the fans. Like a stadium that's that far away from the pitch, like. Can you imagine that? Like being that far back, like being behind the goal, but you're actually nowhere near, near it. So, I think if a new stadium was to be built really close to the existing stadium, then a lot of the match day experience can stay the same. Like the meetups, the walk, and whatever, because you know that you're not too far from home, sort of thing. But it's when you completely relocate to a completely different location, and again you lose that.
I think the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium is a classic example of that, James, because I think what they've done with that stadium is the fact it was almost on the same footprint as the old one, but they've added little nuances to the stadium. So they've got that cop behind the goal, which is like just straight up, be like they got at Dortmund. It's a fantastic football stadium, I've got to say, and Tottenham are a club that perhaps need to go and win something now, but actually they've got this.
They did.
Pardon?
They did.
They won the Europa League, didn't they? Last year, or the year was last year, wasn't it? But I think they need to go and win something domestically, because I think that they've got the stadium, they've got the setup now to go and actually be a big club, But I think we're going off on a massive tangent here as we tend to do on this channel.
That's part and parcel of the love. But I think for me, you have to. I think the problem with these, like the West Ham Stadium, for the London Stadium, for example, if you had, because we're English, obviously in the continent they often play in athletic stadiums, but the vibe is different. They have flares, they have drinks, they watch the game with a beer. Although they're watching it in an athletic stadium, they sort of like, there's more of a party atmosphere, from what I can tell. I mean, Jez, you've lived it, but in the UK, that is not going to happen. So, because of how we are, and it does kind of kill the vibe, as it were.
Yeah, no, it was Luke Chambers, by the way, was the player that we're.
Yes,
that's the one.
El Capitan fist pump.
How many litres of beer do you think are consumed per match day in Dortmund, in relation to the question that you've just asked?
Litres.
I've been to Dortmund Stadium, and I consumed a lot that day. Litres of beer. It's a big stadium.
62,500 litres of beer.
I was going to say 50,000.
And they do. They absolutely go for it. Like you got all these little fan parks, and we Norwich fans are a little bit sick of talking about fan zones, as we know. But they've got all these fan parks around the stadium, built into like existing businesses or actually part of the stadium itself. And you just go there and as James, because you've been. But it's you just go and have a few beers, go and get yourself a bratwurst 3 or 4 hours before the game. It's natural behaviour for a European team to go and do that. You don't just rock up like you do at Carrow Road. Majority of people 10 minutes before kickoff. You're there for 2 or 3 hours before, and it works. Yeah. And I don't know if it works because it's a little bit of football tourism, or whether it works because generally the German folk like meeting up 3 or 4 hours before to talk about the game or talk about whatever else.
It's probably a mix.
Yeah.
It's probably. I mean, the thing is as well. Like if you have, I've done a little bit of football tourism in the UK, and the lower leagues are a bit like that. League One, League Two, non-league, grassroots. Like I go to Durham Town like probably an hour and a half before kick-off, see some friendly faces, have a chat, and then go out and watch the game. But I think Championship and Prem in the UK, it's not so much that vibe, is it? It's and I do wonder how that fan zone thing at Norwich is going to translate. So interesting to see.
Yeah, definitely. Do you watch any teams locally, James? Any sort of non-league teams?
No, I wouldn't say I do. I keep meaning to go watch Coventry United, and it just comes down to it. But my my life balance is I have my toddler on weekend. On my wife works on Saturday. I've got my daughter all day, so like going to the match on Saturday, I'm having to get a babysitter.
Right.
So it's difficult. But yeah, so not enough.
No, fair enough.
Did you say Connacht United?
Cole United.
Col United. Sorry,
Colchester.
Col United. Colchester United.
Oh, okay. Oh, it's only because Connor played Durham a few weeks ago and got smashed 4-0. So there you go. Anyway,
welcome to Beyond the Durham.
Beyond the oldest.
Yeah, exactly. Right. Anyway, so moving on. So, have you ever found yourself accidentally surrounded by Ipswich fans on Derby Day, and how did you handle that situation?
Not on Derby Day. But I, being from Blackburn, got a message from a mate of mine coming down to Portman Road saying he's had a mate drop out. Do I want a ticket? And I thought, you know what? If we're against Ipswich, I can be a Rover for the day, not a problem. So I went and met him, got with the Rovers fans, made it very clear that I was a Norwich fan. I'm just here to watch him get pumped. That's it. All was well. All was fine. It was a great day until I get the train on the way back to Colchester, and I'm queuing up, thinking I'm chatting with a Blackburn fan, and I reveal my identity and say, I only came here to see them get stuffed. I'm actually a Norwich fan. And then he turns around, his mate turns around, and suggests that I F off down the carriageway. So I sort of like thought, yeah, that was not a Blackburn accent. That was not a Blackburn. So yeah, I and it's only like a 20-minute train ride. I was like this every 2 minutes. Like, is he coming down? Oh no! Like why? So I handled that situation by hiding like a little girl and hoping for the best. So yeah.
Amazing. I mean, Blackburn and Ipswich have had some, shall we call it, history over the last few weeks, haven't they? With the infamous swimming pool incident at Ewood Park a few weeks ago, and the game got replayed, didn't it? I think it was pretty much a carbon copy of the previous game, wasn't it? 1-0 until obviously the game got called off in the 78th minute, so we never would have known what would have happened, but Ipswich got a very proud and well-respected draw out of that game, didn't they? So,
yeah, I was gutted.
I was
watching. I was like, at that point, the game should have just been it's a victory to them. That's it. But now Blackburn have had the same issue, haven't they? With Sheffield.
Was it Charlton?
Sheffield recently.
Oh, Sheffield. So it was, yeah.
Yeah, the weekend he got called off again.
Out of interest, because I'm sure I'm thinking it, so I'm sure there'll be, of our 5 viewers, why, being from Lancashire, why Norwich?
So I get this quite a lot, and obviously it would have been easy to be a Blackburn Rovers fan given that they've won the Premier League, and I'm surrounded by it. I didn't get into football until I was about 10. So I was sort of raised like by my older brothers to be a Liverpool fan, but I didn't care about football. I wasn't good at playing it. I wasn't interested. Then my sister, I was going to move down to Norwich with my sister, and her boyfriend was a Norwich fan, and he took me to a game, Preston versus Norwich at Deepdale in the Norwich end. And I was, we love you, Paul McVeigh and Phil Mulrine. And I was just like, I said, I've got this player's signature. Because who is it? So I don't know. And I was just like, and I was like, that was my first ever football match, was a Norwich match. And then when I moved to Norwich, he started taking me to the Norwich games. And I was really getting into it. moved back up to Lancashire. Obviously I started going to the Blackburn games and stuff, and meeting the players. But the reality is that I've always Norwich, just I get butterflies when I'm at that stadium. Like I've been to Ewood Park, and it's just where I'm from. They're not my team, so that's why I'm a Canary. And the amount of abuse I got in high school for not supporting Manchester United, Liverpool, or Blackburn Rovers, and just being the only guy with the yellow and green top, apart from Brazil, obviously, everyone had one of them. But
Yeah.
yeah, it was a tough childhood.
We've got another chap that we've had on this podcast, haven't we, Jez, from your neck of the woods? And it'd be remiss of me not to give him a shout out, but the Gun Show on the Pinken. He's well renowned, Steve, poster on there, but he's from Lancashire. And we asked him the same question. I was like, what? And I think for me, his is still to this day, Jez, the best reason as to why he supports Norwich is his parents had a pet canary. And so he followed Norwich because of that.
It's brilliant, isn't it? It's so funny.
Yeah. When we got promoted to the Premier League 2004, 2005 season, or was it 2005? I'm from a town next to Blackburn, so even smaller than Blackburn. And I remember walking home, and I saw, you getting little football kits at the back of your car. I saw a little Norwich kit, and I just went door knocking, trying to ask, "Excuse me, is that your car?" And they're like, "No, it's not my car." And then, "Excuse me, is this your car?" It's like, "Yeah, that's my car." I said, "You're a Norwich fan. I'm a Norwich fan." And that woman was like, "Oh, amazing. Do you want to come and watch the Norwich match at the weekend? Norwich versus Manchester United." And I was like, "Yeah." And to this day, that woman, even though I've been in Colchester 15 years, she's one of my sort of best friends. And she came down here a few years ago, went to Norwich match, and when I go to Turkey, I meet her out in Turkey on holiday. So she's become a lifelong friend, and all came from me knocking on that door.
Yeah, that's brilliant. I love stories like that.
Yeah, same. That's a fantastic story. It's and we often talk about that on this podcast, but like where you're out and about and in the world, and you end up somewhat reason why you'll either bump into someone from Norwich or bump into a Norwich City fan. I had that in Cuba on this resort, in this little crappy resort cafe type thing. These two sort of older gentlemen were having a chat, and I just happened to hear them, and I was like, I recognise that accent, because obviously I spent 18 years living in London, so I don't really have an accent anymore. But I was like, I hear that. So I turned around and said to them, "Where are you guys from?" And they're like, "Norwich." I was like, "No." And then we sort of started talking about the club and stuff. But I love those like international moments. They always happen. They always happen somewhere.
Yeah, definitely. Morgan, question 4, please.
Sure.
Which I think's already been discussed, Connors, but we might as well ask it. Sorry.
Well, I mean, how do you navigate the East Anglian rivalry when chatting football with locals? Do you keep it diplomatic, or is there banter?
I considered it to be quite banter 2 years, 3 years ago. I'm a lot quieter these days, but again, back to the lads that I played football with. As soon as the Nunes thing happened, I was getting messages, from them, and then I got to football, and all I heard was, "Well, it's a bit chilly tonight, isn't it?"
Yeah, very good.
I was just like, so yeah, I was always for the banter, but I do keep it diplomatic. I'm a realist, not a fantasist. I understand how it all works, and they've had a bit of a surge, and we've had a little bit of regression. I can see that. Let them have this moment for the time being. So I do tend to keep it diplomatic, but for a long time I was often, if there's a lad in the office, when I first got a job in account management, the senior account manager wasn't in that day, so I went in with my Norwich top and sat on his desk and got all pictures of me laying on his desk and his keyboard and just made sure that he received that on his day off. So yeah,
I think
I can't help myself.
No, that's fine. I mean, we tend not to mention that as the closest I've ever come to using the C word on this podcast, Morgan. Should we call him the Chilean? Yeah, Nunes. I'm really surprised actually how he's played this season, because I thought probably a month in he'd get injured and then we wouldn't see him for 2 or 3 months. But he hasn't, has he? He's actually he's kicked on a little bit. I don't know whether it's because his minutes are being managed a little bit more than perhaps they would have been at Norwich. But you know, I mean, I kind of stick to what I said at the time. He was in the last year of his contract. He didn't want to be with us. He was going to be a disruptive influence. I'm still kind of under the impression or under the opinion that we wait until the end of the season and see what's happened and see where both teams are. Because at the moment, yeah, we're in a bit of a hole, but I fully believe the manager we've got at the moment is going to get us out of that hole.
I agree. Yeah. I would. It's not nice that we sold him to Ipswich, but if he's pushing for a move and he doesn't get that move, he is going to be the disruptor. And to get the money that we did, that's fine. He can go. We loved him to the point where we found out his true colours. And you know, we as a fan base, we know how beautiful it is to be a part of this club, or live in the area or surrounding villages or whatever. We know how well foreigners adapt to it, and for whatever reason, he decided to go that route. I think cut our losses, like you say, see where we are at the end of the season. I believe that we're on the last 3 games under Clement. I think we are on the way to make. Who knows? After January, might even be close to mid-table. If we can just get injured players back. I think a lot of us may forget we've got, whilst
10.
under Manning it was absolutely atrocious, we are still like 12 first team players short that are injured. Or first team squad. So yeah, I think we just see where we're at the end of the season.
I think so, and I think that I look at it and I look at the press conferences a lot actually, and I didn't really want to watch Manning's press conferences because they were a bit like
it's like watching
monotone.
Yeah, it was like, yeah, it's one of them, and it was all. I don't want to be disrespectful to Liam Manning because he's gone, and you know his shortcomings were obviously laid out for everyone to see, but it was just so monotone. It was so sort of like, and then this happened, and then this, and then I'm like, if you're speaking like that to the press, I can guarantee that's how he speaks to the players, and none of them were motivated. Just look at the likes over the last few games: Oscar Suarto, Emiliano Marcondes, Rory McConville, Kellen Fisher to some extent.
Maatsen as well.
Maatsen's a classic one. Maatsen's the classic example. 5 players there. That's half a team that have actually improved. A Sargent's got a goal that he hasn't got for in the last 12 games.
Yeah.
There's players there in that squad that will get us out of this situation, because those players that I've just mentioned, they've all improved, and that's only 3 games in. Well, I guess it's 4 games.
Yeah, exactly.
I just think that. Yeah. And we're going to get players come back from injury. That's going to make the squad more balanced. So we're going to have a more natural left back, the left-footed left back. We need to get a right winger in, I think, because as good as Makama is, he's not a winger, and he's leaving us short on that front. So we need a right winger, and we need someone that's going to back up McCondas a little bit, and then I think we'll be absolutely fine.
Yeah, I mean, I know it's been done to death with the Nunez thing, and at risk of libel, he just doesn't seem like he's got much going on between the years, and I just think he just didn't give a fuck. I swore. It's fine. It's a family podcast, Morgan, but I just don't think he got it. And look how long he didn't settle. I remember when Emi Buendia first joined Norwich, and he couldn't speak a word of English, and then within 5 or 6 months, the guy's like talking away like he's been here for about 5 years. So with Nunez, like he could barely speak any English. Could he really be bothered? did he really want to be here? Could he be bothered to integrate himself into the area? Probably not.
And it's for me, Morgan. Sorry to interrupt. I think it was just the complete lack of class that he showed on the move.
Yeah.
The fact he went there in the first place, but also all of the bits that he did in the media afterwards. And I know it was probably Ipswich saying to him, "Look, you got to do this because obviously it's going to wind up the Norwich fans."
Yeah.
But he could have turned around quite easily and just said, "I'm sorry, I'm not comfortable." Just what I'm saying. I guess he was caught in a rock and a hard place. Pardon, James?
I said he really played up to it.
He did.
Get them on side, and he didn't need to. They already loved him for the fact that he made the move.
Yeah, exactly that. Yeah. Exactly that. It was just, a lot of the stuff around the derby. Yeah, fair play. They won the first one in 15 years or whatever it was. But it was all the stuff at final whistle. But yeah, as you say, I think we've done it to death already. And we're probably just playing into the hands by talking to it. So we'll move on.
Yeah, there is a really good picture. I don't know what photographer took it at Portman Road, where he's warming up. And then you've got McCammer, Medic, I don't know if it's McConville, like just looking at him. And it's a really good photo. It's like if looks could kill, he'd be dead. But it's a brilliant photo. Whoever took it, so props to photographer. Anyway, sorry.
No, that's absolutely fine, mate. Let's bring it back round to the Empowerball project. I know you talked about it a little bit at the very start, but I think it's important that we go away from today, just obviously reminding people a little bit about it and focusing on that Norwich one to just try and get a few more people involved. So, what impact do you think it will have on the young fans and grassroots football within the Norfolk community?
So we've seen firsthand in the other leagues that we've launched the impact that it has, because we're in all the WhatsApp groups. We see their feedback amongst themselves. Grassroots, the feedback we've received from a lot of players is that once they are anything above the age of sort of 16 to sort of 18 plus, when they want to go out and play, they go to established teams and say go to a training session for an 11-a-side and realize that it's actually a lot tougher to get into that side, and there's already relationships and whatever. And after that, there's really not many other places to go. Like, men are blessed. Like, there are 6-a-side, 7-a-side leagues Monday through to Sunday. If you want, you can find one online, whereas it's not necessarily there for women. So the impact that we're seeing is, we are creating a space that otherwise isn't necessarily there. And it means that teams, players, when they get to that 16 plus, if they want to carry on playing, there is an opportunity there. So across different counties, because we're FA affiliated, we're 18 plus in some counties and 16 plus in some. But the main thing is that we are making an impact. We're getting more women playing football. And as you've seen with the Lionesses and things like that, more and more eyes are on football. So I wouldn't be surprised to see more and more leagues or more competition for us, come into the market, and rightly so. We've already looked at like the other locations such as Leeds, and we're actually opening up in Liverpool, and the guy that's going to run it is a Norwich fan. So, yeah, we're everywhere. So, pardon?
We are everywhere.
Yeah. But yeah, so and again, when we look at different towns, I did a little search yesterday, and I saw in Leeds they are launching another sort of women's football session from January onwards. So it is coming. Our format is just a little bit different because we have the bonus goals rule for the team with the best sportsmanship. There is that extra second thought where you need to be careful how you play your game, but also encourage your weaker players that maybe need a bit more time on the ball, or it may be just when they have a bad touch, just let them know it's okay. We see that so much, and some of our teams have met up outside of Empowerball to practice with their weaker players. That's the sort of stuff we want to see. Some of them will come down early and practice with the weaker players to help them and explain, teach them positions and things like that. That's the impact it's having. We're bringing people together that otherwise wouldn't found each other.
Yeah, I think as well, coming at it from an experienced perspective, I've run teams in the past where we've had perhaps a squad of 20, 25, because it got really popular during the Euros as well. We had women coming to us that had perhaps never played the game before and wanted to get involved, but we were playing at a level where perhaps we couldn't give them the amount of game time that they probably wanted. So, but we didn't have anywhere like Empowerball to send them. And actually, I think it's a team in Norfolk could potentially be listening to this and going, I've got 4 or 5 players that I can't play on a regular basis. They're not even making the squad. Where can I send them? And I think it's, you know, it's then going to have the knock-on effect that they're coming to your sessions, improving their skills, but also the fact that they're obviously they're meeting other people as well, which is key. But I think it's, you know, cut a long story short, I think it's a really good thing you're doing. So I'm hoping that we can give you guys a little bit of a nudge in the area, and, you know, if there is anyone listening that wants to get involved, how can they do that? Is there a website that they can go onto, or, you know, direct email?
Yeah, of course. So we have, if you go onto our website, you can navigate different leagues that we have. So on the Norwich page, there's a registration. So once you go through that registration phase, you'll be contacted via WhatsApp, and then we'll basically get you down for the first session, come along, have a first game. At the moment, as I said, in Norwich, we're doing friendlies. So there's no set team, so it's at the moment working out which players to put into which teams, and we do that based on ability, but also based on, like, basically big personalities that are going to keep that WhatsApp chat and that group bubbly and encouraging, and then obviously weaker players that maybe need to be paired with a really strong player. So we're still at that phase. So if they go to our website, which is empowerball.co.uk, they can register their interest for a league, and we do offer the first session for free. But that for the listeners of of the show, if you want to just drop us an email or follow us on social media and just mention the podcast, we could send you a link to bypass the normal registration fee. Because we have a lot of people signing up and just not turning up, so we put a registration fee in. It turns out that anyone that does pay the registration fee tends to turn up. So we kind of have that to safegate us doing a lot of chasing to no avail. But by all means, do connect with me on social media and follow our page, and we'll get you in for the free trial match.
We'll obviously send the links on when we put this out for the promos and stuff, so people can get involved. Before I let you go, it'd be remiss for me not to pass over to Morgan for today's random question of the week.
James has no idea about this, so
yeah,
that's how we like it. Right, bear with us. Random question of the week. I like that was a bit more baritone, wasn't it, Jez, than usual?
Yeah, it was a little bit. It was more Pavarotti, wasn't it?
Yeah, I prefer it. So maybe next time I'll do that. Anyway, James, you talked about Empowerball, obviously a concept that yourself and your partner, business partner, came up with. But if we think back to any other fictional games over the past however many decades, from film or in general, what would be the fictional game that you would like to see brought back to life or reanimated into real world?
Game, like console game?
No, anything.
Sorry.
Anything. Yeah, anything.
Oh, anything just brought back,
or put out into the world.
That is random, and I'm not sure if I'm even going to give the right answer. Just when you said anything sort of like that, my brain went to playing the game The Getaway on PlayStation 2. So
okay,
I don't know if that's anywhere near what you're looking for.
I think that'll do.
A football match brought back in today's modern day?
No, just any sort of game. I mean, I've thought about the Running Man, and we could just send people that potentially we don't like into that arena and see if they survive.
I mean, we could.
Is that a bit too dark for me, Jez?
A little bit, but
now you've said that, I'm thinking of a life-size Pac-Man, and we stick Nunes in it and just chase after him, and he'll eventually twist his ankle and pull up an injury, and we'll get him anyway.
Pac-Man, the Pac-Man heads Ono Hernandez.
So circling back, we'll have a Pac-Man.
What about? Does anyone remember? It's kind of had a bit of a resurgence of late. what was that game where you had to wear a helmet, and it was like Nightmare. Does anyone remember?
Yeah, Nightmare, brilliant. That was filmed in Norwich.
It was. Treguard, doesn't he live? This has come up before, hasn't it, on this podcast?
Yeah. I can't remember. Was it the Tommy Boyd episode? I think we were talking about Nightmare, weren't we? I don't know how or why. Maybe it's because we were talking about Kids TV. I don't know, because obviously he was quite heavily involved in Kids TV, wasn't he? But I think he's passed away, actually, Treguard, hasn't he?
No.
Was he still with us?
No. Come on, don't say that now. Whilst I look this up for my own benefit, what would be yours, Jez?
Crystal Maze. I just thought it was brilliant. I used to watch that religiously. I used to watch that I think it was on a Sunday, from memory. But
Crystal Maze.
Yeah, but not when it was the new presenter. It has to be Richard O'Brien.
With his harmonica.
Yeah. He was a character. But I'd say I think they did try and bring it back, didn't they? I can't remember who was the presenter, but
it was Richard Iwade.
Richard, yeah, matey boy, yeah. But no, that would certainly be mine. Still with us, is he?
I'm just showing an image of Nightmare. Okay. I remember that. That was CG. That's CGI at its worst / best. I actually don't know. Hang on, I need to find this out, because otherwise our
Hugo Maya, his name is.
Right. Okay.
He's still with us. He is still with us. Yeah. So sorry, Hugo Maya and all of your associates for saying you were dead. Good to hear you're still with us.
Thank you.
That's a positive end, at least. At least he's with us.
Yeah. Sorry, Hugo, once again.
Morbid end.
Yeah, no, it's good, isn't it? I think it's always nice to finish on the positive. So, right. So, best of luck with everything, James. And obviously, we're here if you need us for anything. And obviously,
thank you, guys.
No problem at all. And thanks once again, Morgan, for all of your co-hosting skills.
Or one of them. I turned up. That's enough. Yeah,
there we go. And everyone else watching, if you'd like to hear more about Beyond the Barclay, I mean, why would you? We write off old TV presenters. Please do like and subscribe on our channel for more great content. And you can also follow us on Facebook, Instagram, X, TikTok, which is the one I always forget. We also are proudly part of the TalkSPORT Fan Network. You're going to say something, Morgan?
No.
Were you? I thought you were going to say something. Never mind. All right. Well, goodbye, everyone. Thanks, everyone. Have a wonderful day.